hello, everyone, and welcome to My Mindy Monday. This is Omara Lee, life coach. I am dedicated to making Monday your favorite day of the week. Oh, goodness. Let's take a look and see who's in tonight. You guys forgive me. It has been a super duper 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 busy day, but you guys know I love Mondays. So I started new things today, this month, being the month of March, and which is my birthday month. And so I had some tidying up to do before I turned a big 4-7. And so today has just been very, very busy. But I am here. You are here. I'm excited as always. So let me see. As you know, Terea is not with us today. So it's just you and me. So let's see. Hi. Hello, Miss Chambers. And hello, Miss Keitel. Nice for you guys to be with me. It says I have more people in here, but they haven't said hello. You guys come on in and say hi. Let me know who's watching me. I really appreciate dialogue, and we're going to need some dialogue today. So you guys get some water. Let me take a little sip too, because we're going to have a conversation tonight, and I'm really going to need some dialogue, guys. Well, thank you. Thank you, Miss Kalia. My birthday is actually in 3 days, and I will be the big 4-7, guys. So pretty excited about that. Hey, Lovey. How you doing, King? It is so good to see you tonight. And Miss Ashley. What? Miss Green is in the house? Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. Okay, so I do want to say this. Let me just get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Number one, a lot of times, especially when I'm in by myself and I don't have my co-host with me, I miss people. So you may come in, you may give me a shout out. Please, please, please don't think that I'm ignoring you. A lot of times I don't see it. Even if I may be talking to somebody who just said something before you, I'm scrolling. I'm trying to look at the camera. I'm trying to stay on task and avoid all the squirrels. So I apologize in advance. I love dialogue. I love when you talk back to me, and I'm doing the best I can. So if I miss you tonight, please, please, please do not charge it to my heart. Just charge it to these eyes because sometimes I can't see as clearly as I would love to. Hello, Mr. Leonard. How are you tonight, kind sir? That is the Gentle Giant joining us tonight, guys. All right. So how's everybody doing with their mirror talk? You guys talk back to me if it was good and you were able to look into the mirror and give yourself those powerful, positive affirmations. Give me a thumbs up. If you thought it was difficult, give me a thumbs down. Let's talk about it. Okay. And while you're giving me thumbs up or thumbs down, I'm just going to share with you a wonderful, wonderful moment that I had. Hey, Yolanda. I want to share with you a wonderful moment I had today, this morning when I was in my private talk and my meditation time, and just talking to Holy Spirit. And I was just really, really basking in gratefulness this morning. And one of the most wonderful things is when you are reminded of how much somebody has your back. And I felt this morning just so encouraged and so accepted and so, protected. And it's awesome when you can be yourself. And so I am grateful this morning, and I want to say thank you for all of your support. When you guys come in here and you give me dialogue, I grow, you're growing, and I am just extremely, extremely grateful for all of you that come in, and to know that that we're blessing one another. It's It's just awesome. Okay. So I just wanted to just take that time to just really say thank you. It means a lot to me that you take time out of your week to come in here and care about what I have to say. So I don't see any thumbs up. Did anybody do their homework? Okay. Remember, we talked last week about mirror talk, getting in front of that mirror, giving yourself some positive affirmations. And you guys, this is going to take practice. It's practice, 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 practice. Hey, Larry, practice all the time. And when you are walking in your new skin, okay, and when I say new skin, I'm talking about that new part of you. Remember we talked about flipping that coin and going from a heads to a tail or a tail to a heads, whatever you saw, allowing yourself to see something different. It takes practice. Okay. And so that's why it's so important to have that mirror talk. That's why it's so important to take that time to give yourself that positivity, to give yourself those affirmations, to give yourself those thumbs up, to give yourself, to pop your own collar, to pat yourself on the back, because you have to get used to that new skin. You got to get used to walking in authority, walking in your power, walking in your dominion. You got to get used to eating healthy and owning it. You got to get used to, smiling more, whatever it is that you want to do more, whatever the change is, whatever that new part of yourself that you're trying to activate, you got to give them some outside time. You got to set up some play dates where you actually engage with others in that new part of you, that part of you that is growing, that part of you. You have to give yourself those opportunities. So please, guys, make sure that you're practicing, make sure that you're spending that time in the mirror. And as a matter of fact, let's take a couple of seconds and just say one positive thing about yourself right now. Okay. Omara, you are tenacious. You were tired today, but you pushed through. You've been going since 5 o'clock. And I commend you for checking off the items on your to-do list, even though many times you wanted to take a nap. You girl, you rock. I'm a rock star. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Giving yourself those positive words of encouragement, speaking to yourself, telling yourself that this is the new me, and the new you needs to be encouraged, or you'll fall back into your old habits. So practice, 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 practice. Okay. All right. So I do believe it was 5 characteristics that you were supposed to be writing and rehearsing. For those of you who are having a hard time with coming up with positive things to say about yourself, remember, I also say you can go with a negative. If it's easier for you to look and say, I'm fat, or, I don't like my skin, or, my hair is this, or if it's easier for you to do that, or I'm lazy, or I don't feel, I'm a procrastinator. If it's easier for you to go with the negative, go there. Go with the negative. But then remember, I said, find an antonym. Get a dictionary, right? Find something that's there. And then after you get through figuring that out, then put that antonym into work, into action. Because now, whatever it was negative, you've now figured out a positive option. And remember, we talked about switching the ratio, reversing that ratio. For every one thing that's negative, it takes 5 things to eradicate that. Every one negative thing that you think about yourself, you got to give it 5 times. You gotta like, I don't even know what 5 is, like a quantum leap. I don't know, but you have to then attack it with that kind of vigor, attack it with that kind of force, giving yourself 5 more things on top of that negative thing. Okay. And so awesome. There you go, Crystal. Crystal said, I am a goal digger. Awesome. She said, my hair is all over my head. I'm still beautiful. Rock it. I love it. I love it. Rock it. Okay. So getting on to our topic today. Okay. Today, we are going to be talking about acceptance. Okay. And what it is and what it is not. Okay. So acceptance is often misunderstood for agreement. Okay. So a lot of times we don't want to accept certain things because we think that by accepting it, we agree with it and that it gives off that the wrong idea. You know, I can't accept uh, your life choice because by accepting it means I agree with it. I don't accept your behavior because by accepting your behavior means I agree with it. Now, this is a very slippery slope, so I really need you to just hone in. So if you got the TV going, turn it off. If you got music playing, turn it off, because I want you to focus, because I really, really do. I'm going to do my best to make sure that my words are easily understood and that they will not be misunderstood. Okay, that they won't be misconstrued or they won't be taken the wrong way. So you guys work with me. Work with me tonight. Hey, Mama Cheryl. Okay, so if you believe, or if you've been taught, or if you've heard that acceptance means agreement, give me a thumbs up. Let me see where we are. Or if you got a different idea of what acceptance meant, give me a thumbs down. Let me know if it is unanimous that, acceptance means that you agree. Okay, so for many, that is what the belief is that acceptance means I agree with you. And we have those sayings, I don't accept that. Or, we hear that, what you accept, you agree with. And that's true, and it's not all the way true. So let me give you a little bit more information on what I'm talking about tonight. Okay. So, acceptance is when you see an event. It's just like seeing an event or something that happens or a person just for what it is, and then stepping outside of that moment in order to accept it from a place of balance. Okay? Acceptance is seeing an event, something has happened, a person that's in your life, a scenario, it's occurred, and you're allowing yourself to see it from an objective point of view, a place of balance, so that you can accept that it exists. Okay? Now, let's not mistake this for when you say, I don't accept being sick. Okay, you still step outside of yourself in order to come to that conclusion. Okay? I don't accept certain things. I understand what that means, but just stay with me for a minute. We talk about balance. Either you're too emotional, too intellectual, too, anything in excess is out of whack. It doesn't work. So we're talking about a place of balance. Okay. So let's take stepping outside of yourself. What does that look like? So you have a situation, and let's just say you have an altercation with someone. Someone says something or does something to you that is so bad. I mean, it hurts you to your soul, it deep into your core. You are upset. This has hurt me. Okay. Sometimes, because we can't accept that this person actually did this, that can lead to something else. So acceptance is taking that hurt and all of that pain and leaving it with the situation, step outside of it, and now look at it and say, okay, yeah, that was a low blow and that hurt me. Emotion mind is saying that hurt me, and you start thinking of ways to hurt that individual back. You start thinking of all kinds of things go through your mind because you're emotional. Some of us want to run when we're hurt. When we're in our emotional mind, we're runners. Some of us are attackers. Some of us shut down. Some of us withdraw. Some of us, fight with a vengeance. That's emotional mind, okay? Then on this side, you have your intellectual mind. Your intellectual mind will say something like, well, I don't even know why I'm even talking to this person. They're stupid anyway. I don't even know why I even engage with this person every time I did. So the intellectual side of you starts looking at all the facts. Well, technically, they didn't even use that word right. So how they going to even try to talk about what I did? So I shouldn't even be hurt. Should I be hurt? It's the intellectual side of you. Now let's balance that. Balancing that would say, this hurt me. I wonder why. A, it hurt. B, the person said it or the person did it. So you're stepping outside of it in order to evaluate it objectively so you can now accept it. Accept it just means that you are giving the event the right to just be there. It's not a judgment on it. It's not saying that it's right. It's not saying that it's wrong. It's just saying that it is. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying that I'm embracing it. I'm not saying that I'm even throwing it away. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is that I accept that it's there. It's there. Okay? That is all acceptance is. Okay. If you're still with me, give me thumbs up or thumbs down. I need you guys to talk to me because this is so important. And we'll be talking about acceptance the whole month of April. And so it's very important that the foundation is there, because as we begin to build and go into denial and go into unforgiveness, which are also some things that build from not accepting certain things. Acceptance is very important. It's important because it puts you in a place where you can say, okay, this exists. And that can say, hey, Marlon, that can come from, pain. Okay. Let's look at pain. Sometimes we experience pain and it hurts so much that our defense mechanisms begin to come up. Okay. We start putting defense mechanisms up because we can't really understand it. And we can't really, we're in this place where it's just pain and that's all we know, right? So what we do is, because we don't want to feel it, we don't accept it. Okay? We don't accept it. So, and it's, let me see. So Ashley, you said, I think I understood. Ashley said, I think that I understood that as acknowledgement instead of acceptance. And it can be both. Absolutely. So you can acknowledge it. By acknowledging it, you say, okay, it's there. You see it. I know that I am experiencing some pain. Very good, Ashley. Thank you. I know that I'm experiencing some pain. I know that I've been hurt. I know that what we don't want to do is have the defense mechanisms begin to pop up. Okay. So like, even now, as I'm speaking, there's probably some things that's stirring on the inside. We don't want the defense mechanisms to pop up. And one of the main defense mechanisms that I want to talk about is denial. Denial is one of the main mechanisms that blocks acceptance or even acknowledgement, is denial, denying and that an event even happened, denying that it should have happened, which is really what a lot of us do. We deny. So certain things we can't deny. Our body is evidence that it happened. Okay, our body reminds us that it happened. So there's certain things that you just can't deny. But what we will do is we will shut down the acknowledging of it. And so that looks differently for everybody. One of the things so one way it could show up is when we cut a person off. It's a defense mechanism and it's a form of denial. I'm really trying to make this so that it's understandable, guys. It's a form of denial. It's saying, okay, this happened. It shouldn't have happened. I don't accept that it happened because you shouldn't have done it. It shouldn't be something that a mother would do, a father would do, an uncle would do, my cousin, my brother, my best friend. It should not have happened. And since it happened, I can't really accept it. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to cut you off. I'm not going to even talk to you anymore. I'm not going to even acknowledge your existence. So by you being gone, it almost takes the event from even happening. Why? Because now you're not there in front of me. I can't see you, which means it didn't happen. If you understand that, please give me a thumbs up. If I remove the stimulus, I can pretend that it never happened because I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to feel it. I don't have to experience it. I don't have to accept it. I don't accept it. Therefore, you don't exist to me anymore. I'm going to use a lot of defense mechanisms now. I'm going to deny. I'm going to compartmentalize you. I'm going to, rationalize why I'm doing what I'm doing. So all of these other defense mechanisms begin to pop up because we don't really want to accept or acknowledge that this happened because it shouldn't have happened. And we don't understand why it happened. So until we can wrap our mind around it, I need you to go somewhere. I need you to be out of my line of sight. I need you to be out of my mental focus because I need to work through it. So in order to accept something, again, doesn't mean that you agree, but you're allowing it to be so that you can grow. You're allowing it to exist so that you can grow. You're not, and this could be in so many different ways. It doesn't have to always be something so deep. Sometimes it's a person that rubs you the wrong way, or I don't accept you in my life. Yeah, you're toxic. Bye. But sometimes those people rub us the wrong way to stretch us, to grow us. And if we could just accept that they irritate us, step outside of it and say, why do they irritate me? Now you can still get the gift that comes from that irritable person. It's just admitting that it's there. It doesn't mean that you take it as yourself. It doesn't mean that you connect to it. You say, I see it. I see it. So now I can deal with it. And that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about accepting certain things, accepting certain characteristics about yourself, accepting certain circumstances that you may be in so you can deal with it. Okay, let me take a look and see how we're doing. If you're still with me, give me a thumbs up. Everybody's still in the room. So that's a good sign so far. Everybody's still here. So, and maybe it's working, maybe it's taken a while to be like, okay, because If I accept it, then it becomes real. And then if it becomes real, then it attaches itself to me. Does not have to be like that. You can accept it and step outside of it and then decide if it's real, how real is it? What do I do with it? Okay, because there's things that we don't want to see, but they're imperative to our growth. They're imperative to our survival sometimes, allowing ourselves to see something. And that's what I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about acceptance. I'm talking about seeing something so that you can move, so that you can handle it. Because what's happening is the things that we're not handling is handling us. Because out of sight, out of mind, I think, who was that? I saw something pop up. I saw it in my peripheral. Cheyenne, she said, out of sight, out of mind. And that's how a lot of us are functioning. We're functioning out of sight, out of mind. I'll deal with it as it comes up. Well, if it's out of sight, it doesn't come up often. So you're not really dealing with it. Thank you guys for giving me feedback. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not just shutting me down. Thank you for saying maybe, perhaps. A lot happens in the maybe. So denial. Denial is a sneaky one. It's very, very sneaky, because a lot of times we think denial is when someone is like, no, it doesn't exist. And we're just saying it, and it's clearly right in our face. And denial's sneaky. Denial can show up in a lot of different ways. And we have to be careful about denial. And let me say this. Denial in itself is not a bad thing. It can be very powerful when it's used correctly. It's when things prolong is when it becomes a problem. It's okay to say, okay, I'm going to put this on a shelf for a minute so I can think. Or as some of you have said, so I can listen, so I can get more information. It's okay to say, okay, I'm gonna step outside of this. And while you're outside and you're thinking about it, you're not really doing anything with it, but you're thinking about it. Because now you're weighing the cost, which is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to step outside of it and weigh the cost. But when something happens in our lives that rocks us, that shifts us or throws us off course, a lot of times what we'll do is just say, it is what it is. That is not acceptance. We think that's acceptance. It is what it is. What does that mean? What does that mean? There is nothing that comes into our lives that's not purpose driven. Every single thing that comes into our lives is for purpose. I don't care if it's the most negative thing you can think of, the most horrific thing you can think of. And I'm not saying, hey, you should celebrate that. What I'm saying is, it's for purpose. Everything is to build us. So when we say it is what it is, what does that mean? What is it? What is it? So if you are someone, I used to say it all the time, it is what it is. I understood what I was saying when I said it is what it is. What I was saying is that it is what it is, and you've been compartmentalized. Defense mechanism. It is what it is. You've just been compartmentalized. This has been compartmentalized. I'm going to put you right there where I can see you, watch you, and make sure you don't get out of control again. But I didn't handle it. I didn't deal with it. And because I didn't deal with it, and I put it in a nice little compartment, when something in my life shakes it and it falls off the shelf and it's a mess all over my floor, and now I have to deal with it, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. We should never be caught off guard from our emotional events, things that have affected us, things that have happened to us. because we're created in a way that we can handle it. We've been made to dominate. We've been made and created to be able to handle it. God has created us to be able to step outside of ourselves. There is nothing else that has been created that he's given that ability to. Step outside of yourself. Turn around. Look at that thing straight in the eye and say, I see you. Okay. Now, Lord, what am I going to do with this? Okay, Father, how do I handle this? What's the tools? What's in my quiver? What's in my quiver? What do I have to help me to navigate this thing? What do I have in my quiver to help me solve this problem? We're solution minded. We were born to solve problems. We were born to make things as if they were already there. We haven't seen it yet. That's where we come in to create and to make solutions. And those solutions are for our individual lives. There's no victims. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. You may have been victimized, but there's no victims. We are victorious. We have been given so much power and so much strength. And I pray you guys can hear what I'm trying to say. Acceptance does not mean you agree. It just means you acknowledge that it's there. And then you use the tools that you have on the inside of you. You use the tools to deal with it so that you can function, not just that functioning that, hey, I'm functioning. I can get up every day. So you can thrive, so you can be the best that you're supposed to be. So that you're always learning different ways of how to handle situations so that they stop handling you. So they stop showing up at weird moments. Because remember, compartmentalizing or out of sight, out of mind, it doesn't mean that it's gone. It's literally that. It's out of your sight until it's in your sight again. And we know, human nature, we know that it's going to show up at the worst time ever. It's going to show up in your job interview. It's going to show up at the water fountain with your coworker. It's going to show up at the daycare provider's house. It's going to show up, when you have a platform like this, bigger than this. That's when it shows up, and it's like, ooh, I should have dealt with that in 88, in 74. In 99, in 2003, in 2020, it's going to show up. So all I'm saying is, when you acknowledge something, it allows you to deal with it. But when we deny the existence of it by putting it away, by ignoring it, by saying that's your problem, not my problem. It's you, not me. When we do these things that we do to defend ourselves so that we don't experience pain, so that we don't experience suffering. And I'm all about decreasing suffering. That's what this is about. It's about decreasing suffering. I promise you. It may not sound like it, but this is all about decreasing suffering, increasing your power, increasing joy, increasing your peace. Because when you deal with things, they're dealt with. You know exactly where they are, where they're supposed to be, how you've dealt with it. And you have started the healing process of it. You started the healing process of it. You started whatever, if it's not something that has hurt you or broke you, you're starting the healing process maybe for somebody else, because I accept where you are. I see that. Okay. And by accepting, let's take a person that you just don't like them. They rub you the wrong way, every which way. And so this person, you got to work with them, or they're in your family, your immediate family, sister, brother, cousin. They're right there with you. And so you got this person, or maybe their lifestyle rubs you the wrong way. smokers, drinkers, homosexuals, lesbians, whatever it is, it rubs you the wrong way. They cuss a lot. They're ghetto. They're, whatever, alcoholics, drug addicts. I don't know, whatever it is, but just being around them, it just grieves you, just drives you insane. Accepting that that's that person's current now. That's them right now at this moment. Doesn't mean you agree with their lifestyle choices. It means I see you. I can see you. And when you step outside of that, now you can say, what's my part? How do I handle this? What can I do here? Why do they irritate me so much? What is it about that? Wow. And then when you're working on you and you're getting all that under control, now you can turn around, look at that same person and become effective in this world. Become effective in a way where there's no judgment. You're not coming for who they are, their essence of who they are. There's no need for that. There's no need to really have an opinion about it, because I see it. I know where my part is here because you're in my space. And if you're in my space, then obviously this is me and you. You've been given to me for this moment. So what are we doing here? How are we working together? How can I be effective here? And how can you be effective here? So that we're both growing, so that we're both maturing. And so that it's a win-win. No one's suffering. No one's walking away suffering. I'm going to go to the comments. I'm going to take a break. If you're still with me, give me a thumbs up. I know it's a lot. But it's important. It's so important. This is a building block. This is just right here. And then we build from here, because there's a lot of things that we are refusing to see. So I'm going to go to, all right, Cheyenne, you still with me? Thank you. I'm going to have to scroll up a little bit, guys, because I did get a little bit long-winded. Okay, yes, it is great to realize that. All right, so that's the one I'm looking at now. Kalia, she said, it's great to realize that bad situations build our character. Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a book I read, guys. If you have not read it, please get it. It's called Where's the Gift? And it's about a young man who got a job and he hated his boss. His boss just rode him every day. It was just always something, and just nothing he did was right. And it just went on and on and on. And he just hated it. He loathed it. He was like, I want to quit. God wouldn't let him quit. And he went to a friend, and a buddy was talking to him and just said, hey, where's the gift? Where's the gift? And he didn't understand what it was talking about. And basically, the whole moral of the book is, whenever you find yourself in a situation, whenever there's someone in your life that's adverse or just cantankerous, or just, there's always a gift. There's always a gift. And the thing is to find the gift and not be put off by the personality. Don't get put off by the words. Don't get put off. Find the gift, because anything that's in your presence, anything that's in your inner circle, anything that comes to you, God is talking to you through this event, through this person, through this circumstance. There is something being said. You have to find it. It's acknowledging it. It's saying, I see this. I see that. I see it. I don't understand it. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable, but darn it, I see it. And then saying, okay, what did you want me to do with this? What is this? Because he's always speaking. Our job is to always be hearing and to be looking. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Mama J. I'm trying. I'm trying. So, mm. So Ashley, okay, so she said understanding who they are, to understand how to navigate around them, learning to respond instead of react. Yes, when you know, that's a big part of it, especially when we're talking about people and accepting people. A lot of that is we don't really understand their story. Half the time, we don't want to know their story. They're rubbing us the wrong way. We just want them gone. But when we step outside of that and see them and accept them where they are, then we're able to understand. And in that understanding builds empathy. Being able to understand them builds an ear. It makes your ears perk up and you say, I see. I see, said the blind mouse, because now you see much clearer than what you saw before. Because the first thing we see when it's something that we don't really want to see, the first thing is judgment. I'm judging you because it has to be you, because nobody else irritates me like this. So it got to be you. So we judge it and we forget to understand it. Awesome. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Thumbs up. Hey, Kita. Ah, so she said 5 years ago, she beat the girl up. Today, she would have just walked away. That sounds very loaded, but I do think I know what situation you're talking about, Karen. So, yeah, hindsight, they say hindsight is 2020. And a lot of times when you're looking back and you see what you could have done. And usually when we do things like that, we're out of balance. We're teetering more on the emotional side, instead of having balance to say, she's out of order and I have the ability to walk away. She's out of line. She deserves X, Y, and Z. And I have a choice to make. And the choice I make could either catapult me to greatness or pull me down into stagnation. So in those choices, in that moment, and that's why it's so important to acknowledge it. I see it. I see it. And I accept that you're upset. I accept that you're mad enough that you want to go there. I just see it. I don't have to agree with it. But now I get to choose. And that's what we've been talking about for the last month or so, is making choices. And when you step outside of something, you give yourself time to make that choice that will catapult you to greatness. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I like I said, the dialogue is so helpful and it helps others as we're growing, as we're sharing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, yay. Awesome. So looking at denial, if we continue to push things off because they're uncomfortable, continue to push things off because they're painful, we do ourselves an injustice. We put ourselves in a position where we can become stagnant, because sometimes we put things off so long that by the time we get back to deal with it, it's kind of grown legs and arms and opinions and a whole nother story. And some of us, and I got put my thumb up, some of us can have a story that's so old, we don't even remember where it started. You know, some people have stopped talking to people so long they don't even remember the story. When you're like, why don't you talk to, why don't you talk to Emma anymore? Because she a hot mess. Well, what happened? Girl, so long ago, I don't even remember, but I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. All you remember is what it felt like. You don't even remember what happened. You only know so much of it because denial stole the opportunity to get the whole story. Denial took your opportunity to see it clearly. So you saw it just from your point of view. You saw it just from your pain. You saw it just from whatever aspect you were able to see at that time. And now you don't even really remember all of the facts. And so trying to heal from it is hard because you want some truth to a story. You don't even remember the beginning, the middle. All you remember is the end. So acceptance is important, guys. And I'm hoping that I'm making a little bit more sense as it has been going on. So I talked about how defense mechanisms breed other mechanisms, other defense mechanisms. And if we're not careful, we end up the warden in an emotional prison that we've made for ourselves. And we won't give a pardon. We're our own warden. We're in this emotional prison, and we want so badly for the pain to go away. We want peace. We want to feel alive in this area again. We want to feel rejuvenated. We want to feel like we felt before it happened. But because we have not accepted that it happened, just really accepted it, it happened. No, it shouldn't have, but it did. It did happen. Whatever you're struggling with right now, just tell yourself, it happened. I wish it wouldn't have happened, but it did. And the effect of it happening was boop, 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 boop. This is how I feel. My emotions regarding it happening is boop, 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 boop. I want to deal with that now. I want to deal with it. I want to step outside of it. And I want to say, okay, this happened. And I want to tell that young version of myself the whole story. I want to know the whole story, not just my side, not just my interpretation. Because when we're in something, and I'm not going to open this up because we'll talk about this next week, because but when we're in something, we only see a part of the story. Because especially if it's painful, guys, especially if it hurts us, we can only see a little bit of it because pain constricts us like this. It squeezes. And when we're in pain, we cannot see clearly. When we're in any emotion that causes distress, we can't see clearly. All we know is what we feel. And we're all the way like this. So out of balance, we can't even see logic. Logic is gone. And so the feeling, whatever it is, and if you remember me saying whatever you give attention to becomes bigger. So when we practice and rehearse that, I can't believe it. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe she said that. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe they lied. I can't believe whatever it is that we can't believe or we don't want to believe, it becomes bigger and bigger. And then that's all we can see. That's it. All we can see is what they did, what was done, what I feel, I feel. And we don't see any of the things that's around that, any of the extra information, any of the pertinent information. So when it happens and we keep going, we just keep moving right along, that younger part of us, that person that was last year or last week or whenever that event happened, that younger part of us is stuck there in that emotion with limited information, limited truth, because all that version of us saw or felt was the pain and what caused it. So I hope, and we'll talk about that next week, but I hope that this was helpful, if for nothing else, to have you say perhaps. I am always excited about perhaps, maybe. I'm good with that. I'm going to take another look at the comments before we talk about homework. So let's see. Yes, there's always going to be homework, guys, because we have to practice. So let's see. Now I see, and I'm challenged to look at things with a new perspective. Someone great taught me that. Thank you so very much. Yes. Look at it with a new perspective. And that's all I'm asking, guys. That's what I hope that your takeaway is tonight, is to look at things with a perhaps, a maybe. You know, a lot happens in that maybe. A lot can happen in that perhaps, where we step outside of ourselves and just say maybe, perhaps. Perhaps there's a different way of looking at this. Perhaps it's not all that I believe it to be. You know, perhaps there's another side of it. Perhaps I missed something. And in that is the opportunity to grow. And that is the opportunity to find balance and to see things clearly, to see it from a perspective that perhaps you didn't have. You open yourself to options. You open yourself to growth. And in that growth comes healing and freedom and peace and joy and a decreased suffering that allows you to experience all of that and to appreciate it. Okay, guys, we're getting ready to come to a close. You guys talk to me what you think about tonight's lesson. I mean, you know, you can tell me now. I don't want you can tell me now, you know, if you're like, okay, close shop, don't come back next Monday. Just let me know now, you know. Yeah, I just won't come back after my birthday weekend. I'll stay an extra day. You are so welcome, Kalia. Thank you. I am so glad that that it was effective. I'm glad that that helped you tonight. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Keitel. I appreciate it, and it is a lot. It's a lot. A few years ago, my life was kind of uprooted, what I understood it to be, and it took me on a journey of learning acceptance. You know, I didn't realize that I did not accept certain things. I wanted punishment because it shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have still been happening. and I had all these things, going on with me. And um, I realized that I just didn't accept that the people involved had the right to make a choice, even if it wasn't the best choice to me, even if it wasn't an effective choice. They had the right to choose just like I had the right to choose. And in that moment, I had to start choosing me. And I had to start choosing my health, my healing. I had to start choosing acceptance that, hey, people are going to do what they do. Situations are going to arise. And like Kalia said, and the situations builds my character. It makes me stronger, and it pushed me into a place of learning and studying and wanting to not be um, the same person that hurt me, not to be that to somebody else, but to grow. And so I'm thankful for everything I've gone through. And I don't say that because it's the thing to say. I truly am thankful, not that it happened, but because it's made me stronger and it's opened up a part of me I did not even know existed. It blossomed parts of me that needed to grow, that was stagnant, that was uh, uh, in a place of just, oh, you're gonna make me cry, Mom. Hi. um, Not you, Mommy, but Mom. I have a mommy and I have mom. So I have like moms. But I finally seen her. She's thank you. So good to see you tonight. Thank you. But just growing, guys. We're always growing. We're always leveling up. We're always and this is what he expects of us. He expects us to continue to grow, to continue to dominate our own lives, our own mindsets, our own hurt, that we dominate it. Nothing overtakes us. And that's my uh, mantra, if you will. Nothing will ever dominate me again because I'm stronger than that. And it's not because I'm going to, be this, crazy person, but no, I'm making choices that put me in a position to make other choices. I'm growing and I'm thriving and I'm accepting some things and then dealing with them and then being like, checking them off. You just make check marks. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for showing me that. Let me deal with that. Because if it's shown to you, it's like, Danger, Will Robinson. Hey, want to deal with this now? And then you have the choice to say, yes, I'm going to deal with it now, so I don't have to deal with it later when I'm at a height in my life where I'm experiencing so much joy and I get sucker punched and with something that I didn't deal with when I was here. I'd rather deal with it straightway, even if it hurts, even if it takes a while, even if it takes me a minute or two to just get my grips, grab my bearings again. Let's deal with it now, guys, because we can. Our quiver is full. You dominate, you rock. And Brakita, yes, I will be back next Monday. Yes, I will be here. You guys be here. I am going to put the clarion call out again that I put it out last week. Oh, my time is up. Okay. So I put it out last week that if you are interested in being on My Mending Mondays, when my co-host is not here, I do want to talk to you guys. I know that you guys would love to see someone other than myself discussing some of these things that we talk about. You do not have to be a life coach or a therapist. I am asking for you. So I have gotten some people who I have been in contact with who will be joining us. So one Monday out of the month, I will be having one of you that just comes on and says, hey, this is what I've been doing. I see you, Ashley. I will be calling you. That says, hey, this is what I've been experiencing, and this is how I've been handling it. This is what's in my quiver. This is what I've been using. It could be something that you've learned from my Mending Monday. It could be if you are one of my clients and you feel like you want to share just a part of something, that's fine. If you're a therapist, because I know you are, Ashley, I welcome you also. So I know that right now, March, April, and May slots are already full, and thank goodness for that. Thank God. But if you just want to come on and share and just say, hey, yeah, my Mending Mondays is helping, or, hey, you haven't talked about this, but this is what I've been doing. And we could just have a dialogue, it'll be towards the last part of the broadcast. So about 6:30. So if you know someone or you're interested, I am going to give that clarion call again. But until next Monday, let's use our ammunition to make this week a great week. And why is it going to be a great week? Because you're going to make it a great week. I love you guys. Thank you again so much for listening and sharing and being open and being transparent. We are growing, guys. We're growing. And I will see everyone next Monday. Bye, guys.